The economy does not have to collapse on the news for your life to feel smaller. It can happen quietly through rent, groceries, gas, debt, subscriptions, medical bills, school costs, and small fees that steal money before you notice. This video is about practical things you can do now, not fantasy advice that assumes you are already rich. You will learn how to protect cash, cut waste, avoid traps, build options, and make smarter decisions in a struggling economy. The facts are simple, but the habits are powerful when you actually use them. The first thing you must do is stop guessing where your money goes. Guessing is expensive. Most people know the big bills, but the real damage often sits in the middle of the month. It is the quick food run, the delivery fee, the extra streaming charge, the late payment, the small transfer, the ride you did not plan, the convenience purchase at the gas station, and the item you bought because the discount made it feel responsible. A budget is not meant to shame you. It is meant to show you the leak before the leak becomes a flood. Write down every fixed bill, then every flexible cost, then every debt payment, then every automatic withdrawal. Do it for one full month. Not a perfect month, a real month. That is the part people skip. They build a budget for the person they wish they were, not the person their bank statement proves they are. The controversial truth is that many households do not need a prettier spreadsheet first. They need the courage to look at the ugly numbers without flinching. Once you see the pattern, you can attack the pattern. You may discover that the problem is not one giant mistake. It is 10 small habits that repeat. The goal is not to cut all joy. The goal is to stop paying for things you barely remember buying. The second thing you must do is build a bare-bones survival budget before you build a dream budget. A normal budget says what you would like to spend. A survival budget says what you must spend if income drops, hours get cut, prices jump, or an emergency hits. This budget only includes housing, utilities, basic food, transportation needed for work, insurance, minimum debt payments, medicine, and essential phone or internet service. Everything else has to prove it belongs. The reason this matters is simple. When pressure arrives, people panic because they do not know the minimum number required to stay afloat. If your normal life costs more than your emergency life, you need to know both numbers. The survival number gives you power. It tells you how much income you need to protect. It tells you which bills can be paused first. It tells you how long your savings can last. It also exposes lifestyle creep. Many people say, "I cannot cut anything," but they have never separated needs from comfort. The hard truth is that companies love when you blur that line, because almost every product is sold as essential now. Premium phone plans are essential. Fast delivery is essential. The bigger car is essential. The nicer apartment is essential. Sometimes they are. Often they are not. A survival budget does not mean living miserably forever. It means having a financial fire drill before the fire starts. The third thing you must do is treat food like a strategy, not a mood. Food is one of the easiest places to lose control because hunger makes decisions emotional. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that in April 2026, the food index was up 3.2% over the year, and food at home was up 2.9%. The United States Department of Agriculture also forecast overall food prices to rise in 2026, with food away from home rising faster than food at home. That means the restaurant habit can quietly punish your budget even when each meal feels normal. The trick is not to say you will never eat out. That usually fails. The trick is to make home food easier than spending. Keep simple meals on standby. Rice, beans, eggs, frozen vegetables, pasta, oats, canned fish, potatoes, rotisserie chicken, soups, and bulk snacks can save a week when you are tired. Plan 3 cheap meals you can repeat without thinking. Also, stop shopping like every grocery trip is a lifestyle event. Stores are designed to slow you down, tempt you, and make you wander. End caps, bright signs, and limited-time labels are not neutral. They are there to move money from your pocket to the register. Eat before shopping. Use a list. Compare unit prices. Buy fewer drinks. Avoid throwing away food you already paid for. In a tight economy, the cheapest meal is often the one already sitting in your kitchen. The fourth thing you must do is attack housing costs with seriousness because housing is the heavyweight bill. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that in 2024, average household spending was $78,535, and housing plus transportation accounted for more than half of that spending. Housing alone averaged more than $26,000 a year. That is why cutting coffee is not enough if rent, mortgage, or utilities are crushing you. You have to look at the big structure. Can you negotiate a lease renewal earlier instead of waiting until desperation? Can you compare renter insurance, internet, or utility plans? Can you take on a roommate for a season, rent a room, move farther from a high-cost area, or downsize before debt forces you to do it? These are uncomfortable choices, but discomfort is not the same as failure. The housing market teaches people to treat location and status as identity. That is dangerous. A home should support your life, not swallow your future. If moving is impossible, create a defense plan inside the current place. Reduce energy waste. Report repairs that raise utility bills. Challenge fees that do not match the lease. Keep documents. Know when the lease ends. Do not let renewal season surprise you. Housing decisions are emotional, but they must be calculated. One brave housing decision can free more money than 100 tiny sacrifices. The fifth thing you must do is rethink transportation before it drains the rest of your paycheck. Transportation is not just a car payment. It is insurance, fuel, repairs, tires, registration, parking, tolls, depreciation, and the surprise bill that arrives when the vehicle decides your savings are too high. In the same consumer spending data, transportation averaged more than $13,000 a year. That is not small money. The controversial point is this. Many people are car poor, but they call it normal. They bought too much vehicle because the monthly payment looked manageable, while the full cost was hiding in pieces. If you already own a car, your goal is to make it last safely. Keep up with basic maintenance. Compare insurance once or twice a year. Combine trips. Avoid using your vehicle like a vending machine for convenience. If you are thinking about buying, look at the total cost, not the payment. Long loans can make expensive vehicles feel affordable while locking you into years of risk. A cheaper used car with a real inspection may be smarter than a new car that keeps you stressed. Public transit, carpooling, biking, walking, or sharing rides will not work for everyone, but dismissing them without math is a mistake. In a struggling economy, transportation should be a tool. It should not become your second rent. The sixth thing you must do is stop letting subscriptions and automatic payments act like silent employees on your payroll. The genius of subscriptions is that they remove the pain of paying. You do not make a fresh decision every month. The charge just happens. That is convenient when the service is valuable, and dangerous when it becomes forgotten. Streaming, cloud storage, apps, gaming passes, news sites, fitness plans, meal kits, software, delivery memberships, and trial offers can turn into a quiet tax on your attention. Review every recurring payment line by line. Cancel anything you would not sign up for again today. Downgrade what you rarely use. Rotate services instead of keeping all of them at once. Use calendar reminders before free trials renew. The hidden psychology is simple. Companies know cancellation friction works. If canceling takes more effort than joining, many people postpone it. That delay is profitable. Do not confuse small with harmless. A few small charges can equal a utility bill, a grocery run, or part of a debt payment. Also, watch annual renewals. They feel like surprises, but they were scheduled surprises. Create a separate list of every renewal month. Your bank account should not be a place where old decisions keep voting against your current survival. The seventh thing you must do is become allergic to high-interest debt. Debt is not automatically evil. Debt can help buy a home, get education, handle transportation, or manage a crisis. But high-interest consumer debt is different. It grows while you sleep. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York reported that total household debt was around $18.8 trillion in the first quarter of 2026, and credit card balances stood near $1.25 trillion. That is a sign that many households are carrying pressure, not just spending freely. If you have credit card debt, stop treating the minimum payment as a plan. It is often designed to keep the account alive, not to free you quickly. Pay the highest interest balance first, Or use the smallest balance method if motivation is the bigger problem. Call and ask about hardship programs before you miss payments. Move due dates to match paydays. Turn off new spending on cards that already carry a balance. Avoid using buy now, pay later for wants. It breaks one purchase into pieces so the pain feels smaller, but your future paycheck still pays the full bill. The cruel trick of debt is that it sells relief today and collects control tomorrow. In a tough economy, freedom is not having unlimited credit. Freedom is needing less credit to survive. The eighth thing you must do is protect an emergency buffer, even if it starts embarrassingly small. Many people avoid saving because they cannot save a large amount, so they save nothing. That is backwards. The Federal Reserve reported that 63% of adults said they could cover a $400 emergency expense with cash or its equivalent, which also means a large share could not do that fully in cash. This is why a starter emergency fund matters. It is not just money, it is a wall between you and panic. Start with $100, then $500, then 1 month of basic bills. Do not wait until life is calm, because life may not get calm first. Automate a small transfer on payday, even if it feels unimpressive. Keep emergency money separate from spending money. The reason is behavioral, not fancy. If savings sits in the same account as daily spending, your brain treats it as available. Also define what an emergency is before one happens. A blown tire is an emergency. A sale is not. A medical copay may be an emergency. A weekend upgrade is not. You are not saving because you think nothing bad will happen. You are saving because something always happens eventually. A small buffer can stop one problem from becoming 3 problems. The ninth thing you must do is fight fees like they are price increases, because that is what many of them are. Fees hide in plain sight because each one looks too small to protest. Late fees, overdraft fees, delivery fees, service fees, convenience fees, ticket fees, account fees, paper statement fees, transfer fees, and cancellation fees can make the advertised price almost meaningless. The business lesson is simple. A low front price gets attention, and the add-ons finish the job. Sometimes fees are legitimate. Sometimes they are avoidable. Your job is to know the difference. Set every bill on a calendar. Use alerts before due dates. Keep a small cushion in checking if possible. Ask banks about lower fee accounts. Read checkout pages slowly. Choose pickup instead of delivery when the markup is not worth it. Say no to upgrades that appear at the last second. When a company adds a fee, ask what it is for. You will not win every time, but you will start noticing the pattern. The controversial truth is that convenience has become a luxury product disguised as normal life. The more exhausted people are, the more they pay to remove friction. That is understandable, but it is also expensive. In a struggling economy, friction can save money. Waiting, comparing, picking up, cooking, canceling, and asking questions are not glamorous. They work. The 10th thing you must do is make your income less fragile. Cutting costs helps, but there is a floor. You cannot cut rent below 0. You cannot coupon your way out of every problem. At some point, survival also requires more earning power. That does not mean falling for fake hustle culture or expensive courses promising fast money. It means building practical options. Ask for extra shifts if it helps and does not destroy your health. Learn one skill that connects to better pay where you already are. Update your resume before you hate your job. Track your accomplishments in plain language. Look for roles with stronger benefits, not just higher hourly pay. Consider side work that fits your schedule and has real demand. Tutoring, cleaning, repairs, childcare, bookkeeping, delivery only when the math works, pet care, yard work, digital admin, translation, design, editing, or local services. The key is profit, not busyness. Many side gigs look good until you subtract gas, taxes, tools, platform fees, time, and wear on your car. Also protect your main job while you build options. Show up, document work, avoid workplace drama, and keep learning. In a weak economy, the safest worker is not always the hardest worker. It is often the worker who is useful, adaptable, easy to trust, and ready before change arrives. The 11th thing you must do is buy insurance and healthcare with a defensive mindset. A struggling economy makes people want to cancel protection because the monthly bill hurts. Sometimes that is understandable, but it can be dangerous. One accident, one emergency room visit, one stolen car, one apartment fire, or one gap in coverage can erase years of effort. Review your health, auto, renter, home, disability, and life insurance needs based on your actual risks. Do not just renew blindly. Compare quotes, check deductibles, ask what is excluded. Make sure you are not paying for duplicate coverage. But do not drop essential protection just to feel richer for 1 month. Healthcare also needs planning. Use preventive care when covered. Ask about generic medicine. Compare pharmacies. Request itemized bills. Question charges you do not understand. Ask providers about payment plans before a bill goes to collections. Keep medical documents organized. This is not fun, but it is survival. The hidden issue is that people often treat insurance like wasted money when nothing happens and a miracle when something does. The goal is to avoid being overinsured on tiny risks and underinsured on life-changing risks. In a tough economy, one uncovered disaster can become a financial landslide. The 12th thing you must do is change how you shop. Not stop shopping, change the rules. Retailers are experts at making spending feel like saving. A sale does not save you money if you were not going to buy the item. Free shipping is not free if you add items to reach the threshold. A bundle is not a deal if half of it gets wasted. A limited time offer is often a pressure button, not a blessing. Create a waiting rule for non-essential purchases. Wait 24 hours for small wants and 7 days for larger ones. Put the item on a list instead of in the cart. If you still want it later and it fits the budget, buy it without guilt. Use price history when possible. Compare refurbished, used, open box, generic, or borrowed options. For clothes, tools, electronics, furniture, and kids' items, secondhand can be the difference between staying stable and sliding into debt. But be careful with cheap junk. The lowest price can become expensive if it breaks quickly. The best purchase is the one that solves a real problem, lasts long enough, and does not steal money from a higher priority. In a struggling economy, smart shopping is not about looking poor or rich. It is about refusing to be manipulated by urgency, status, and fake scarcity. The 13th thing you must do is rebuild your social life around low-cost connection. This one sounds soft, but it matters. A lot of overspending comes from loneliness, boredom, pressure, and the fear of looking cheap. People eat out because meeting at home feels awkward. They buy outfits for one event. They take trips they cannot afford because everyone else seems to be doing fine. They split bills that punish the person who ordered carefully. They say yes because saying no feels embarrassing. You need scripts. Say, I am keeping things tight this month, but I still want to hang out. Say, can we do coffee instead of dinner? Say, I am not traveling this time, but send pictures. Say, I will meet after dinner. The people who respect you will adjust. The people who mock your limits are not paying your bills. Build cheaper rituals, potluck meals, walks, game nights, library events, park workouts, home movie nights, skill swaps, shared childcare, and cooking together. The quiet truth is that consumer culture has trained people to confuse spending with belonging. But connection does not require a receipt. In fact, some of the best relationships get stronger when everyone admits money is tight and stops pretending. The 14th thing you must do is learn the language of your own money. You do not need to become a financial expert, but you do need to understand the words that control your life. Interest rate, annual percentage rate, deductible, copay, principal, grace period, minimum payment, escrow, premium, net income, gross income, fixed cost, variable cost, compound interest, credit utilization. These words are not decoration. They decide what you pay and what you keep. Many expensive mistakes happen because people sign documents they do not understand, accept terms they did not compare, or trust a monthly payment without asking the total cost. Make a habit of reading the boring part. Ask questions until the answer is plain. Use calculators before signing. Do not let embarrassment make you quiet. The system benefits when consumers feel too rushed or confused to slow down. That is not a conspiracy. It is how complex markets work. Sellers usually know more than buyers. Lenders usually understand the contract better than borrowers. Insurers know the exclusions better than customers. Your defense is not paranoia. Your defense is literacy. Every term you understand gives you one more tool. In a struggling economy, the person who understands the deal has a better chance than the person who only understands the monthly payment. The 15th thing you must do is stop measuring survival by appearances and start measuring it by resilience. This may be the hardest one because it challenges pride. A strong financial life does not always look impressive from the outside. It may look like an older car, a smaller apartment, fewer restaurant photos, repeated meals, a basic phone, repaired clothes, delayed upgrades, and quiet weekends. But underneath, it can mean lower stress, fewer debts, more savings, and more control. Meanwhile, the person who looks comfortable may be one missed paycheck from collapse. Do not let social media, neighbors, coworkers, or relatives write your budget. They do not know your income, your debt, your family obligations, your medical costs, or your goals. The economy rewards people who can adapt before they are forced to adapt. That means selling things you do not use. Downsizing early. Having hard family conversations. Teaching children that no is not failure. Choosing peace over performance. There is no shame in becoming more careful. The shame would be ignoring reality because appearances feel better. Resilience is boring until you need it. Then it becomes priceless. In this economy, the goal is not to look like you are winning every day. The goal is to still be standing when conditions get worse. Finally, remember that practical survival is not the same as permanent sacrifice. The purpose of cutting back is not to punish yourself. It is to buy time, reduce risk, and create room to breathe. When your situation improves, you can add back the things that truly matter, but add them back intentionally. Do not let every raise, refund, bonus, or side income disappear into the same old habits. Give new money a job before it arrives. Some goes to overdue bills, some goes to savings, some goes to debt, some can go to joy. Waste is the enemy, not joy. The strongest financial plan is one you can actually live with, because a plan built only on pain eventually breaks. Build a life that is lean enough to survive pressure and human enough to continue. Now bring it all together. Surviving a struggling economy is not about one magic trick. It is a chain of decisions. Track the money. Build a survival budget. Control food. Take housing seriously. Reduce transportation pressure. Cancel what no longer earns its place. Attack high-interest debt. Build an emergency buffer. Fight fees. Strengthen income. Protect against disaster. Shop with rules. Keep connection affordable. Learn the language of money. Stop performing wealth and start building resilience. The economy may be loud, unstable, and unfair, but your response can be disciplined. You may not control prices, interest rates, rent, or the job market. You control what gets your attention, what gets your next dollar, and what habits you repeat. If this video helped you think differently, like it so more people can find it, comment with the one expense that is hurting your budget the most right now, and share this with someone who is trying to stay afloat without losing hope.